Here with head coach Blaine McCorkle as Demons, and stop me if you've heard this one before, on the road this week again against Southeastern. We'll talk about that. Obviously, a tough challenge. One of the better teams in the not only the conference but top 30 in the country. But first, take me back to Saturday, Coach. Markedly different performances across the board, from East Texas to HCU, offense, defense. Really looked like a better team, a team that took the lessons that I know we want to take and applied them immediately.
Yeah, they did, and it's really encouraging and frustrating all at the same time because we are a markedly better team, than we were a year ago, and we played better than we did a week ago against Texas A&M Commerce, who is a really good team. They should have beaten Lamar last week, and I think one thing that happened a week ago is a lot of people still didn't want to give East Texas A&M the credit they deserve. They're a good football team, and they've done a good job there, and they've got some really good players. And I think I said that to several groups the week before, and everybody's like, oh, that's Commerce. But no, they're a good team. But we did get better, and I think we're getting better all the time. And when you have those young teams, which we're talking about young teams too, you're going to have those ups and downs a little bit. But Saturday night in Houston, our kids did show up to play, and they played really hard. I think other than the rushing stat, we pretty much led the entire stat sheet, in pretty much every category that there was. Take out 2 plays, and we lead in rushing as well, right? And I don't think we've ever done that. So I think statistically, there's some things that we did for the first time in the 2 years we've been here, year and a half that we've been here, and those things are encouraging. What's discouraging is you don't have anything to show for it. You still come away with the loss. One thing though, looking at 2 of our last 3 FCS games have been 3-point games. So in theory, there's a million plays in every game that could be the difference. So if you kind of break that down, we're 2 plays away from being 3-3. And that's a hard one to swallow when you're so close to turning some corners, but you still got a lot of work to do. And we again, we're not where we used to be, but we're not where we want to go either. Yeah. So lessons to be learned.
And I'd like to get your thoughts and maybe your opinions on which one of these things, that I'll give you some options here on the ones that you were most happy to see, proud to see, whatever, encouraged to see, whatever the case may be. We had 3 players with 10 or more carries, each with 50 or more yards. We had sustained drives. We had multiple 3-and-outs on defense. We only gave up 52 yards after that last touchdown in the second half defensively. So which one of those things, I know just rattled them off, but it seems like an overall picture of good stuff.
I think those are all good things. For one, the rush defense, I was really excited about, other than 2 plays. Yeah. And that's been something that the last few weeks we've really struggled with, honestly, mostly because of injuries. We've had to get some new bodies in some new spots, and things haven't fit real well, and we've had to get better at tackling. But I think I give our defensive staff a lot of credit. They really simplified some things. Our run fits were really good. They got us on 2 long runs, and there's 100 yards and 2 runs, one for 52 and one for 48. You take those away, we had a really good night stopping the run, but you can't have those. When your margin is thin and you're going to play a close game, you can't allow those big plays. So I was really proud of the improvement, but we still got work to do. On the offensive side, you mentioned the rushing piece. We want to run the football. That's what we want to do. Our offensive line is getting better all the time. They're still really, really young and really, really small. I've kind of been doing a little research here. We by far have the smallest offensive line in the conference right now, by a long way. We don't have a 300-pounder in the starting 5. Most people don't have anybody under 500 pounds, but they're getting better. They're growing, they're working, and we ran the ball well. When you have several guys being productive running the ball, that's when you're doing some good things up front. So excited about the improvement we made there. And the sustained drives, I think, was the other piece you mentioned. We had 10 drives in the game. We had 71 plays, which is very average, but that's actually the most plays we've had in a game since we've been here in a year and a half. So you got to be on the field, right? So that's good. And we only went 3-and-out one time in the 10 drives. We haven't done that since we've been here. So those things were all very encouraging to see. We just got to find a way to finish a game.
And those sustained drives, in turn, helps the defense, too.
That's right. That's right. Gives them rest. And we won the time of possession. We're 32 minutes in the time of possession, which is a huge stat, and that's been one of the problems is our play count has been low. Our defense has been on the field too much. And we talk about complimentary football all the time, but, having 32 minutes time of possession, that's complimentary football because now you're allowing the defense to rest, be fresh. They can play a little faster, a little more physical, and have a better chance to stop that run we're talking about.
And a little SID note for you, too. The 3 players with 10 or more carries and 50 yards, it's only happened 3 times or 4 times in the past 10 years of
Yeah,
Northwestern State
great.
football. So
That's great. Yep.
that's exactly, trending the way we want
That's
to,
right.
for sure.
That's right.
So speaking of trending the way we want to, talk to me about Southeastern. Like I said, one of the best teams in the conference in the country, top 30 in a lot of categories. They seem very balanced offensively, rushing and passing. So what's the approach?
Yeah, I think this week they landed at number 22 in the poll. So good for them. They're very deserving of that. I think they're probably higher than that. It's still kind of early in the season as that stuff unshakes, but they're really good. As we've talked to as a staff in our year and a half here, this is probably on film the best FCS team we've seen so far. I think they're a complete team in all three phases. Defensively, they're big, they're fast, they're physical, they can run. Their structure is simple, but they're very disciplined in it. They know exactly what they want to do, and they just line up and they're just better than you. It's fun to watch their defense play. Offensively, there's not a weak link. They've got really good receivers. They've got good backs. They play two quarterbacks that both can beat you. Their quarterbacks are good. Number 4, this kid's just an athlete. They line him up a lot of different spots. If he gets in the open field, it's a track meet and it's over. So they're a complete football team, and we've got our work cut out for us. And last year we went down there and they handed it to us pretty good, but we didn't play good at the same time. So another opportunity to show some marked improvement, see how much we've grown, and do everything we can to try to go win the game, because that's the idea. We're not going to have a good showing and improve. We're going to win a game. So it's a heck of a challenge, and I think our kids are they know they're getting better and they'll be excited for it.
Yeah, it's really an opportunity, a big opportunity this week, next week, with really two of the best two teams in the conference back to back.
Yep.
To really kind of say, hey, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to get to, and this is how we do it. This is what we need to do to get there.
Yeah, as I look at the league, still being relatively new in this league, and all right, who are the top dogs? Who are the guys that you want to emulate? Who do you want your programs to be like? You're right. It's these next two games in Southeastern and Lamar the next week. Their style of play, the way their programs are kind of run, the type players that they have. That's exactly what we're trying to build here, and it'll be a great gauge for us to see how far we've got to go with that.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.